Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to the channel. Appreciate you guys stopping by. My name is Shane. Today we're back in the garden. Second day in the garden. We're getting this thing done today. I don't have grandkids coming over. I don't have fish guy coming to bring fish. I shouldn't have any interruptions. So we're going to try to blast through this thing. I almost got the first garden done till the fish guy came yesterday. All I gotta do is knock out some okra real quick. The first garden will be done. And the second one's gonna be mostly beans. We can blast through it. So I'm crossing my fingers. I got about 3 hours. I'm thinking I can knock all this out. We have a huge rainstorm coming tomorrow. So this is gonna work out perfect. Stick around. We're planting these big gardens. All right, first off, we're gonna plant this red burgundy okra that we got from Paula Wells on YouTube. Check her out. Thanks so much, Paula. This is the first okra that's going in. All right, the next okra to go in is this Crimson Spineless. We grew this last year and saved the seeds. That red burgundy okra, I assume is a red okra. I've never grown it before, but I have a Jing orange okra I'm putting in after this, and I don't want to get the two mixed up, so I'm going to plant this Crimson Spineless in the middle. That way I can remember which okra is which as far as the red okras go. So Crimson Spineless is going in next. All right, next guys is the Jing orange okra. We grew this last year and it was absolutely beautiful. It has a deep, rich red color to it. Just really, really pretty in the garden. And the okra is fantastic to eat. So I'm really looking forward to planting this. So Jing orange is next. All right, this garden's done. We pretty much, well, we planted corn from there all the way to here. And the rest is 2, 4, 6 rows of okra. If you hadn't ever grown okra, which I get a lot of comments, a lot of people have never grown okra. It grows super fast and super heavy. You have to pick it every 2 days, all the way to the first frost. As long as you're picking it, it's growing. So okra is a super plant, in my opinion. And we got 3 different varieties. I have a bunch of others I planned on planting, but that's enough. That's going to fill us. That's going to be way more than what we need. And the corn, we went corn heavy this year because we want to do some different stuff. We want to can a lot of corn this year. We've never done it, but this year we're going to learn how to do it, and we plan on canning an absolute ton of corn. This is the peaches and cream. If y'all didn't check out my last video, this is the peaches and cream corn that we planted from there all the way. I mean, it's just a ton of corn. It's an absolute ton of corn. Plus in the back pasture back there, I planted a whole entire pasture full of Silver Queen corn. Silver Queen white sweet corn. And it was our favorite. We planted it last year and it was really, really good. But we've been talking to a lot of people who said we're gonna like this peaches and cream even better. So we're excited about that. Now that we got this garden done, we're coming into this garden. I may wait on a ton. I'm gonna try to get the easy, quick stuff first. We have to go all the way up to here. I think I may start up here and work my way down. I got some, let me see what all we got first. I think this is what I'm gonna put in first. The Mississippi Purple Hull peas. I think I'm gonna put this whole entire pack out. I'm just gonna load up. Because it's a pea, we have to shell them. It just takes a whole lot. I talked to a friend of mine and he said, James Petway at Petway Family Farmstead, he said, when you plant peas, plant a lot. And when you go to There's another swarm. Look at that. Look at that. This is insane. Let's see if we can get this on camera. Surely that ain't coming from the same box. I knew I heard it. Let's see if I can cross it. I don't know if y'all can hear that or not. I'm about, I know y'all gonna say, this is ridiculous, all these swarms this guy gets. So I just put out a video the other day. I had 2 swarms in the same video out of the same hive in 2 days. 2 days we had 2 swarms. I don't know if that's one of the same swarms or what, but that's insane. I don't know how well the camera's picking that up, but they're drifting back into the woods. I don't have time to fool with another swarm. I'm not done with these bees. That's not out of our hive, so that may be a wild swarm, or it could have been one of the swarms that never found a home. I have no idea. But I got to get this garden done. I ain't got time to fool with no swarm. I ain't got time. I got a swarm trap. There you go. There's your home right over there. Look at those strawberries. They're looking pretty good. We got a bunch of little red ones in there. Bunch of little red ones. I just picked me one. That's good. All right. Now we're gonna plant the peas. I'm not studying that swarm. I'll never catch it. I'll drive myself crazy worrying about it. Mississippi purple hull peas we're planting. Definitely gonna get these speckled butter beans in. Let me show you these guys. These beans are so pretty. Look at that. Isn't that a pretty bean? They're just huge too. I believe they're called speckled butter beans. We got these from Kim and Dawn at Little Feet Farm Homestead. They sent them to us. They are beautiful. And my wife's had them before. She absolutely loved them. So we're going to plant a bunch of those real quick for my wife. I also have some Blue Lake pole beans. We may not get to those today. I thought I had some Blue Lake bush beans. They may be in the house. But we're going to get these in for sure. These purple hull peas, and these fork hook lima beans. We may get these in today. But I'm going to play around. I'm definitely going to, let me get to these peas real quick and see if we can knock some of this out. I'll keep you guys posted what we're planting. Well, I got those purple hull peas planted. I probably should have bought way more. I didn't get but about 2.5 rows out of that. I probably should have bought way more. I've never grown a pea before, so I thought that'd be kind of fun. I just been listening. I keep looking for that swarm. I finally found it. Here's the hives right here. And they went straight up. And you can see them right there. There's actually 2 little bundles. There's one on the right and one on the left. You can see them right there. That's way up, and I really don't have time to fool with. That's way higher than I'm climbing. I ain't climbing that tree. But it's interesting how many swarms, and I'm not sure if it came out of these hives or not. I'm not sure. I'm just not absolutely positive if that's not a wild swarm or not. We checked it the other day, and there was a couple of queen cells left, and we've got the honey out and all that. I just don't see how there'd be hardly any more bees to come out of there. But there are wild bees. There are wild honeybees everywhere around here. We're way out in the sticks. That's a nice little bundle of bees. $150. I've said it on the last video. But I think what we're going to do next year, to get off the garden topic for a second, I had a ton of suggestions. A lot of you guys are beekeepers. We just do bees. We started out hard and heavy. You know how you start out all gung-ho. Now we're just glad to have them for all the pollination they give us on our gardens. They're just absolutely great to have on your property. My son-in-law actually wants to do a beehive and just stack it up a little bit and let it just sit and never touch it. Let it swarm, do whatever it wants to do forever and ever. He wants to do one particular hive just for that. We haven't never done that yet, but I had a lot of suggestions from a lot of good beekeepers that watch my channel, and I was thinking about running some rope up in these trees, and I've heard of people pulling traps, swarm traps up in these trees, because these bees go straight to these trees every time. And I think next year that's what we're going to do. I just don't have time right now. I'm so busy. But I'm thinking about running some traps on ropes and hanging them up in the trees. I can't for the life of me remember who sent me a comment about how they seen a channel do that, and I've seen it before. I've watched a ton. When we first got started, I was burning YouTube up, learning how to catch swarms, and I do the same thing you guys do. I watch YouTube like crazy trying to learn stuff. It's so much fun. But our thing is we just don't have a lot of time to do all this stuff. But I think me and Travis even said next year we're going to get really, really heavy on the bees. We're going to step up our game on the bees next year, because we have tons of equipment that just needs to be cleaned. We spent a lot of money on these bees, and we just let it go year after year. We just got lazier and lazier with them, or busier and busier to be able to deal with them. But that's a brilliant idea, to hang some swarm traps way up in these pine trees. I believe it'd be easier to catch them up in some of these pine trees, because that's where they always go. As you can see, that one hive is right, that swarm is right there. That's two pretty good balls of bees up there, one on the left, one on the right. I mean, that's two nice little bundles of bees. That'd make a really nice hive. But I got gardening to do. Okay, as I said earlier, next are the speckled buttered beans. These things are just absolutely beautiful. I hope these things take off. Never grown them before. We're gonna put these suckers in the ground. I'm going to plant a ton of them. So let's see how this works out. Let me show you guys, if I can get it open, what we're going to plant next. We're going to plant a fork hook lima bean. And me and my wife are just bean crazy. We love beans. That's a fork hook lima bean. They ought to be really, really good. All right, next we're going to plant a flagrano pea. They're just a beautiful little pea. Let me show you these things. Look at that. There's just a beautiful lime green little pea. They say they're really good fresh, frozen. I've never had them before. All the stuff I'm growing in the bean garden, I pretty much have never grown before, besides the pole beans, and they may have to wait till tomorrow. It's starting to get late. I got one more thing I need to check, and I still got to get ready for work. But I want to change the plate out. I got this bean plate in here, but that's for some bigger size beans. I'm going to use the okra size plate because they're a little bigger than an okra. It's super easy. Just one in these earthway planters, one spins out, one spins in. This thing is really, really efficient and super easy to use. We're going to see how it works with these peas. I'm going to plant a lot of them. I'm going to plant a lot of them. I don't know how many I'm going to plant. It's going to be a full garden. All right, well, I knocked that out super quick. I didn't video that last part. I did put in 10 rows of the Flagrano peas. They're beautiful pea. All the stuff we planted was really, really pretty. The speckled butter beans are really, really pretty. I just love them. And they're about the size of a nickel. They're just huge, beautiful beans. The fork hook lima beans, they're absolutely great. I planted 7 rows of each. And then the peas I put in 10 rows. Just because you got to shell it and you need a lot to make a decent meal out of it. But that filled that whole garden up. It is completely full. I went ahead and filled in my potatoes. I noticed they were getting a little tall, so I filled them up. The next thing, I got to build another box to go on top of that. But we got this whole garden filled up with peas and beans. This is all corn, 6 rows of okra, strawberries at the top. I'll also show y'all down here. The one thing we didn't finish was our pole beans. I'm gonna do them probably next week after the rain. I was just trying to get as much of this in the ground as I could before this huge rain came. But I got to clean all this up. We have some wheat barrier fabric. I just needed some more, or some more mulch. But this is our bean tunnel. We're going to put a Blue Lake pole bean on here, and then some of those big asparagus beans. So we're going to fill this, both sides of this up. It'll be a nice tunnel full of beans. I'll start on that next week. And our blueberries are really looking good. We planted these this fall. I planted 14 blueberries in here. Look at the elderberries. The elderberries are rocking. I wish a lot of you guys lived closer. I'd get y'all some cuttings. I want to show y'all something. We planted these about 3 years ago. Look at this, out of a stick. It was just about a 6-inch stick we got from Ison's Nursery, of course. Go check out Ison's Nursery. They're absolutely awesome. They sell great fruit, nuts, and trees, muscadines. They sell anything fruit, nuts, and berries. Check out Ison's Nursery. They're awesome. But these elderberries are taking off. I want you to look at all this new growth. All that green new growth. That is since spring has started. That is since spring has started. All that. They grow so fast. It's amazing. And the roots coming up. I'll get to talking about elderberries now. The roots that are coming up, they're just popping up everywhere. Look at that. That's inside the garden. They work their way underneath the fence, and the roots are starting to make shoots. Well, these are just weeds and stuff. But here's one here coming underneath the fence from the root system. Really interesting. And you can see how the roots out here outside of the fence are just putting up new shoots everywhere. Really, really cool. And the deer, oh my gosh, the deer love them too. The deer came and wiped them out, but it doesn't matter. The deer can't keep up with how fast it grows. We have one there and another one here. This one's a little shaded, so it's growing a little slower, but it is still really looking good. And they're two different varieties. I couldn't for the life of me tell you which one was which. They're starting to put on their little pods. Look at that. They grow super, super fast, and they have the prettiest smell you've ever smelt. When they flower out, oh, they're beautiful. But the blueberries are doing great. Looks like we had some deer come in here and clip the tips. We're already getting little berries. I should have probably plucked those. They say pluck them first year, pluck the flowers the first year, so you get a stronger growth, but that's okay. That's okay. The blueberries are looking good. Let's go check on one more thing. Look at that. Looking good. Excited about my blueberries. Let's go check on one more thing before I close this video out. And if you haven't subscribed to my channel, this is a perfect time to click that subscribe button. I'd really appreciate it. We're going to run down here to the lake. I want to check and see if these catfish made it. We had 1,000 catfish delivered yesterday. Sorry guys, I'm still getting over a cold. We had 1,000 catfish delivered yesterday. I'm curious if we had any die off. I've never went through a fish thing like that before, where they brought me a ton of fish to stock the lake. I'm curious how they made it over the night. So let's walk down here to the lake and see what the fish are doing. All right, guys, we are headed down here to our pond. It's growing with lily pads like crazy. I just wanted to check and make sure I didn't have a ton of floating fish all over the place. And I don't see a single one. I am so glad. Like I say, I've never done that before, never stocked any fish. Ooh, the brim are waiting on some feed. There was a bunch of big old brim right there. It's about time to go brim fishing. It is about time to catch some fish. Yeah, I don't see any catfish belly up. So that's a good sign. That is a good sign. I am super happy about that. About time to do some turtle trapping, guys. About time to do some turtle trapping and some fishing. I usually don't fish a lot until I know the fish are absolutely biting. I've caught a few crappie so far this year, but nothing really to video. But the brim are what I love to catch. I love to catch these brim and of course catfish. But now that we got the catfish, it may be a year before we catch some really nice catfish, but the brim, I've been feeding the brim for about a year. We ought to have some really chunky brim in here. Let me see if this feeder's still working. All right, well, she's working. I'm happy about that. I swear I put that battery in there a year ago. I put that battery a year ago. Look at that. That thing's still showing full charge. That's amazing. That is absolutely amazing. Them little brim are just jumping all over it. Odin, get back, buddy. I know y'all can't see that water. I need to bring the GoPro down here next time and stick it in the water after I feed them. The little brim are stacked in here. I'm waiting to see some big brim come up. Oh well, grandkids will love catching these things this year. But guys, thank you so much. I got to put this cat back on the feeder. But thank you guys so much for being subscribers to my channel. If you are, if you're not, click that subscribe button. I'd really appreciate it. Give me a thumbs up. I really appreciate that too. If you have any comments, leave them in the comment section below. I really appreciate you guys. Y'all know that. Love you guys to death. I'm gonna wrap this up. I'm getting a little tired. I'm getting older. But I need to go get ready for work. Love you guys to death. We'll see y'all on the next video. Thanks again.